Hey, Shalom Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Shemi Yahushai, by Shimmer Kakadash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel brothers and the standard behind by Shemi Yahushai, wherever it may be. Real quick, man, this is a post here. It says the great resignation. Number of unemployed Americans who voluntarily left their jobs to look for better work reaches 32-year high. As you know, we're in a time of economic downturn. The economy is literally collapsing before our eyes. Okay, the real estate market is going to shit. The housing bubble is getting ready to burst. Okay, the stock market is ups and down. Even though all these things are controlled, you still have people investing in homes and buying homes. But after a while, people are not going to be able to afford these homes because they're not going to have the money or the jobs to do so. Okay, now you have equity, which is built up over time in a house. It's kind of like credit almost, but you have equity value that people obtain in their houses over owning them over a course of time, because the longer you own the house, the more you pay into it, the more equity builds up. But what happens when that equity is no longer profitable? Okay, and when people aren't working to sustain these homes, then that's a trickle down in the market. Then unemployment becomes at an all-time high. Okay, so this place is literally falling, man. Okay, and you people that's on your high horse and that's on this type of security blanket because you're thinking that this market is going to bounce back, the job market is going to be stable, you got a huge thing, you got you have a rude awakening coming, man. Okay, because you're doing good now doesn't mean it's going to be like that in the near future, because it takes literally seconds for them to pull this rug from under us, man. Okay, because people are leaving jobs, they start their own businesses, which business is not a bad thing. But what happens when people can't have the money to afford their own business? And then when people aren't buying at an all-time rate, that affects everything and everybody. Okay, so it says the latest job reports from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is BLS, show that the great resignation is far from over, and millions of Americans are still voluntarily leaving their jobs. And hey, I feel like that every single day. But people, they don't want to work anymore. And on top of that, they're not really hiring like they claim. Like you see a hiring sign here and there. They're not hiring people like that, man. Okay, they're just smoke and mirrors to give you people the illusion to believe that this place is doing okay. And it's not doing all right, man. Okay, because all the people in the housing market that's buying homes, it's a buyer's market, but it's not a seller's market. Okay, now if you do get a few sales here and there, then consider yourself doing good. But how long that's going to last? Okay, because like I said, interest rates is going out the roof, and the feds are raising interest rates. It's a shit show, man. Okay, property developments are charging an arm and leg to build up these homes and these apartment developments. It's a shit show, seriously. But it says here, according to the report, the number of unemployed Americans who quit or otherwise voluntarily left their jobs and immediately began looking for new employment rose to 15.9% in September. It says this is the highest recorded level of job leavers, as they are called, since 1990. Okay, because this is the, I believe, this is the 40-year high of inflation. Okay, but it says this trend has continued despite the worsening economic situation, which has led to companies laying off workers or announcing hiring freezes. But this suggested that many Americans still feel they can get a better job if they leave the current one. But the survey data supported the BLS latest report. Judy Pollack, chief economist, said that unemployment website ZipRecruiter said 25% of job seekers told the site last month that they feel so confident in the ability of jobs that they are willing to quit their current one even without having another job lined up, right? Because you people putting your hope in, like the scriptures say, partakers in the hope of Babylon. But there's not going to be any hope for this place in a little while, because Yahweh Shemi Yahushai has an end date for this place, an expiration date. And it reads here, employees who stay are affected by great resignation, but the massive wave of people resigning from their posts is also affecting the people they leave behind at the offices. It says data shows, the BLS shows, that American workforce is not as productive just a year ago. But Pollack noted that the economic interlie in the economy, as she called it, began in early 2020. It says off in a matter of weeks due to it says this was then when nearly 20 million people were laid off in a matter of weeks due to economic restrictions placed on by the Wuhan coronavirus, the pandemic. But it says millions of people resigned or were laid off. Were laid off. I lost my place. were laid off, existing employees will often work to the point of burnout by their bosses. It says new hires with significantly less experience were regularly brought on with higher wages, but workers who did not experience pay bumps came away from all this weight feeling like they were no longer being rewarded for their hard work. Why? Because they needed to compensate. You see what I'm saying? People were leaving jobs in mass numbers, so therefore they needed to raise the wages in order to keep their company staffed, so to speak. And a lot of times people with no experience was making more money than people that's been there 30 years, which caused bitterness between experienced or seasoned employees and new employees and the employer. But it says the report noted that productivity is down 4.1% on an annualized basis. But this is the biggest decline in worker productivity since the government started keeping track of the statistics in 1948.